he does need. Let's go. Friends, my name is Allie and I will be your safari guide for today's journey on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Just a quick safety reminder, please remember to remain seated at all times during our safari today. Keep hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Let's make sure that we aren't making any loud noises at the animals like whistling, clapping, or calling out to them, as this is their home that we are entering into and we do not want to frighten them. Located above you is an animal spotting guide that's there to help you identify some of the animals that we might see today. I cannot guarantee you that we will see all of them, but we usually have some pretty good luck out here on the reserve. If we want to take any photos today, please make sure to have those phones and cameras ready. I cannot stop for every animal that we see out here. Also make sure that we have a tight grip on those because it will be a pretty bumpy ride. If you drop something, I can't guarantee you that you're going to get it returned to you in the same way that you dropped it in. So just hold on to all those loose belongings. We're going to wait right here until we get that last all clear from the warden. Once we do get moving, our first stop is going to be in the Little Aturi Forest, where a lot of the animals that live here are pretty good camouflagers. So let's make sure that we keep an extra close eye out to see if we can spot any of them. Over to the right, there is the okapi. A lot of people like to think that the okapi is related to the zebra because of those black and white stripes that they have, but they're actually related to the giraffe. We know this because of their similar skull structure, and another thing they have in common with giraffes is that they can both lick their eyeballs.
You see that?
Maybe they do it so like they can't wait.
So just up ahead over to the left there is a black rhinoceros. You're gonna have to look up and to the left. He's all the way up there. Black rhinos typically weigh about 3,000 pounds. They can charge at about 35 miles per hour.
Right there. See his back? Right there, see him? See that?
Over to the right there is a saddle-billed stork. She was kind of hiding out behind those bushes. They get their name from the saddle-shaped crest on their nose. They can reach heights up to 5 feet tall with a wingspan of about 9 feet long. Up ahead over to the left, looks like there are some bongos that are up on the hillside over here. They're nicknamed the ghost of the forest because they are rarely seen. Stripes on their fur help them to camouflage. Tilted horns let them run easily to the forest without getting caught on anything like branches. The other animal over to the left, that's the greater kudu. They are the tallest antelope in the forest. They stand at about 55 inches to the shoulder.
Lion says roar and tiger says roar.
Alrighty friends, now we're going to make our way down into the Safi River, where hopefully we will get to see some Nile hippopotamus. Nile hippos can swim, but a lot of the times they choose to walk along the bottom of the river because they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes long. Now before we get to those hippos, there's going to be some pink-backed pelicans over to the right. Their pink coloration comes to them during mating season as if they are blushing. When these birds mate, they do mate for life. How it starts out is actually really cute. Male's going to present the female with a stick. If she likes that stick, she's going to keep him around. They're also going to build their nest off of that stick. Now there is a very sleepy hippo over to the right. And there's also a few over to the left that are in the water. A group of hippos is called a bloat. They are very territorial animals. They weigh anywhere in between 3,000 and 5,000 pounds. And as it gets a little bit cooler outside, it's going to be pretty typical to see them out on the bank of the river like that one was back there. They're going to lay out in the sun, kind of warms them up just a little bit.
Sweet.
Look at him walking, Mom. He's walking on the bridge. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Over on the left-hand side, there are some Nile crocodiles. The average Nile crocodile is about 16 feet in length and 500 pounds in weight. They can eat up to half their body weight in a single feeding. That one single feeding is usually enough to last them for about 10 days.
Simba.
Now we're gonna make our way into the savannah, which is home to a lot of famous animals that you might recognize, like giraffes, elephants, and zebras, just to name a few. So let's make sure that we keep an eye out to see if we can spot any of those animals.
How's the lion thing? Yeah, there's a cave.
Just up ahead over to the right, there are some wildebeest. Wildebeest live in the most densely packed herd of any large mammal, with the exception of humans. And at night, they like to sleep in rows, so if a predator comes while they're asleep, they can all get up and run away without bumping into each other. Over to the left is usually where we can find some African wild dogs. I will say they like to hang out on the right-hand side of the den, so we'll keep going to see if we can see any. The African wild dogs are also known as painted dogs due to the unique markings they have. There's a few that you might be able to see over to the left. Instead of barking like a normal dog, they're going to communicate with each other by a chirping noise. Then coming up on the left, there are some Hartman's Mountain zebras. The cool thing about zebras is you can tell their color from their nose. If they have a black nose, that means they are black with white stripes. And a group of zebras is called a dazzle. There's also some sable antelopes over to the left. They are the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve.
There's a zebra. I saw a zebra, Mom. Yeah. Look at it. Zebra.
No, baby. What is that? That's an ant.
So just up ahead over to the left, there is a Maasai giraffe. Giraffes are, of course, the tallest land animal. They stand at about 18 to 20 feet tall. They are even born big. Babies are born at about 6 feet tall. And a group of giraffes is called a tower. I have a good feeling we should be able to see some more of those giraffes up ahead.
Whoa! He's sad, Mom.
He's sad.
Because he can't find his mommy and dad. He wants to go back home.
Maybe he's single. Mom, put it in my ear.
There's another giraffe.
Giraffe? Yeah, giraffe.
So we can start to see some more of those giraffes over to the right. And if you look further over to the right on the hillside, there's an animal with some really large horns. That's the Ankole cattle. Those big long horns on their head, those can grow to be about 6 feet in length. They actually act as a cooling system for the animal. The blood circulates through those horns and helps release excess body heat. So it looks like there might be some giraffes that are in the road up ahead. So we're just going to keep waiting right back here until the trucks in front of us get moving. And we should be able to see those giraffes here in just a second. They're going to eat for about 20 hours out of the day. They're only going to get about 30 minutes of sleep. They do have 4 stomachs to hold down all the food that they're eating.
And they only get 30 minutes.
Like I said, they only get about 30 minutes of sleep a day. Sometimes they won't even take that 30 minutes altogether. They're going to take little naps here and there throughout the day. And they do sleep standing up.
There's a baby giraffe, Dad. See that? There's a baby one.
30 minutes.
Baby giraffe. Look at that bull right there.
Wow. Look at them all. Take a look. There's a baby.
They're everywhere.
These giraffes actually have the same number of vertebrae in their neck that we as humans do. That number is 7.
They eat 20 hours a day.
You might be able to see a smaller animal up on the hillside that's black, white, and brown in color. Those are springboks. Just like their name suggests, they are going to be pretty springy. They can jump upwards of about 6 feet and forwards about 13 feet.
Elephant.
Looks like up ahead we are going to get to see an African elephant. African elephants are the largest land animal. They can weigh up to 14,000 pounds.
You're getting the
Then over to the left there are some mandrills. Mandrills are the world's biggest monkey. The male can weigh up to 100 pounds and the female can weigh up to 30 pounds. They're also the most colorful monkey. For any Lion King fans out there, those monkeys are what Rafiki looks like.
Some more.
You don't want to.
I don't know why they don't like protect him like
Alrighty friends, I'm going to keep moving right along to see what other animals we can find on the other side of the reserve. First, we are going to have to cross over this rickety old bridge, but Hakuna Matata, no worries. I think we're going to be just fine.
That was it. All that. Yeah. You didn't see it? Kind of. But I didn't
Over to the right, there are some red clay pits with some tusk markings out of them. Those are from the African elephants. They like to eat the red clay because it contains vitamins and minerals. So with that being said, we might be able to see some more of those elephants up ahead over to the left. On average daily, they're going to eat and drink about 500 to 600 pounds, which is what we as humans will eat and drink in about one whole year.
Elephant, Mom.
And just like we need to wear sunscreen to protect our sensitive skin, they're going to do the same thing. They like to sling mud and sand onto their backs to act as a natural sunblock.
Mom, we're on safari.
A safari?
Over to the right and to the left, there are some baobab trees. Baobab trees are nicknamed the tree of life. They can go leafless and hold water for up to 9 months out of the year. You can also see those Ancoldi cattle again over to the right. You can see just how massive those horns are.
Look, the water.
Not the water. Not the water.
Oh, we got it.
Over to the left, there are some greater flamingos. Flamingos get their pink color from the food they eat. They eat brine shrimp, which contains beta-carotene. You might be able to pick out a few baby flamingos out here on the island. They look just like the adults, except they haven't quite fully gotten their iconic pink coloring yet. And a group of flamingos like this one over to the left is called a flamboyant. So just up ahead over to the left is one of my favorite animals to see out here on the reserve. That's going to be the white rhino. White rhinos typically weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. And a group of rhinos is called a crash. They're called a crash because they can't really see all that well, so when they're all together in one big group, they're just kind of bumping and crashing into each other. But they do have really good hearing to make up for that bad eyesight.
Right there.
It does sound like there are some ostriches that are in the road up ahead.
Mom.
So it might be moving kind of slow here for just a second.
One time while I was at hospital, she disappeared. And one of them came to the window and started pecking me.
So we just left the western part of the savannah, which is where we saw those antelopes, the giraffes, the elephants. Now we're in the eastern part where hopefully we already got to see those white rhinos, and hopefully we're going to get to see those ostriches, maybe some cheetahs, maybe some lions. We'll just have to keep an eye out.
Look, Mom. Yeah, Mom, Daddy.
At least we do have a good look at those white rhinos over to the left. So the little one is one of 3 babies here on the reserve. Technically he's like a teenager, preteen, if you want to still count that as a baby. And then we have 2 super young, just over a year-old babies that we might get to see up ahead. We're so very fortunate to have these white rhinos here. Sounds like maybe those ostriches have decided to move, so hopefully we'll see some movement here in a second.
I don't know what rhinos
You got the perfect seat too. You got nothing in the frame. What's stopping the rhinos from running up on you?
Another rhino. Another rhino.
Something they put in breakfast.
How many rhinos? Those baby rhinos.
So those ostriches may or may not have gotten back in the road. Looks like we're slowly moving though. If you start looking over to the left, that's where those cheetahs are gonna be. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They can go from about 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Unlike most big cats, cheetahs are gonna hunt during the daytime. They're also the only big cats that can purr. Around their eyes they have some black markings. Those are going to act as a natural pair of sunglasses for them. It's going to make it easier for them to hunt during the daytime. And there's also less competition during the daytime. You can kind of compare their black markings under their eyes to how a football player is going to put those black paint marks under their eyes to help block out the stadium lights. It's just like that, only they do it for the sun. There's another cheetah that's just over to the left, laying down in the second yard.
Oh, there it is, the cheetah. You see him? He's a cheetah?
A tiger, Mom.
Cheetah.
Cheetah.
She really said tiger.
Cheetah! Mom! Identity one. Mommy, that's a cheetah. He's not eating. Mom, he's not eating.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna put my phone away. I'm going to put my phone up. Be over here catching National Geographic. Catching pictures like my baby.
So over to the left is sometimes where we can find those lions I was talking about. They like to hang out on these copy rocks over here. But they do like to sleep for about 16 to 20 hours out of the day, so don't be too surprised if we don't get to see them. But we'll definitely keep an eye out.
No, that's a bone.
I wasn't doing anything.
The rib cage right here.
Just put us in a cage.
Over to the right, there is a bontebok that's kind of hiding out but behind this bush tree thing over here. You might can see him here in just a second. And then there's a few more of those white rhinos up ahead, including those tiny little babies I was talking about. So these white rhinos really have no natural predator. Their main threat is from humans due to poaching. They are poached for their horns, which are actually just made of keratin, the same thing our fingernails and hair are made out of. So it's pretty silly that they're still being poached, considering there is no medicinal purpose for those horns or anything like that. And over to the right, that Bontebok I was talking about, he's a special little guy. So the Bontebok was almost extinct in the early 20th century. A farmer saw this and he thought, hey, I don't want them to go extinct, so he helped bring back their population. And that just kind of goes to show how one person can make such a difference. You gotta see him hiding out up there. So it looks like we should be able to see at least one lion up and over to the left. She's laying down where that grass is sprouting out up there.
Oh, you see that?
I see 2.
You see that up there? Up there. Wow.
See him on top of the
The male lion throughout his life is going to stay at home, protect the cubs, and protect the territory, while the female will go out and hunt. And like I said, the cheetahs are going to hunt during the daytime. These lions are going to hunt at night. Their vision gets way better at nighttime, about 4 times better. Plus, they are asleep all day, so when are they going to have the time? They've also got some padded paws that allow them to sneak up on their prey really quietly without being heard.
See it now? See it now?
Look.
See that?
See it?
Right there. See the cat?
You can see her a little bit better over to the left. There are 2 of them actually.
Yeah, there's one.
The male is also back there behind the second female. You can kind of see the top of his mane. A lion's mane can actually weigh up to 40 pounds. So it's kind of going to protect them from predators.
Ow.
So there are some warthogs over to the left. I almost missed them back there. Warthogs are one of the largest burrowing animals. They have razor sharp tusks that dig out their burrows. They're also related to the domestic pig.
Ostrich right there.
Now we can see those white rhinos once again, along with those ostriches. Ostriches are the world's biggest bird. They cannot fly, however, they do use their wings to help them change directions when running. They can run at a top speed of about 40 miles per hour. There's a pile of ostrich eggs over to the right on the ground. Each one of those weighs about 3 pounds apiece. A fully grown human could stand on one of those eggs and it's not going to break. That's how strong the shells are.
Human can stand on the egg and it's
So this beat's supposed to be that hard. That hard. Yeah.
It doesn't crack it.
Over to the left of the warden's post, there are some Nigerian dwarf goats. They were domesticated in order to use their milk. Their milk is of high value in Africa, so farmers take it into the village and sell it in dairy products. This helps us to rely more on the animal and less on the wildlife around it.
Oh, it's a baby.
If you all would like to help out any of these beautiful animals that we saw today, we can make some simple changes in our everyday lifestyle. We can reduce, reuse, and recycle. This is going to help cut down on some habitat loss for some of these animals. By recycling old cell phones, you're going to be able to help out the elephants. There's a mineral found in cell phones called coltan, and it's mined on elephant habitats. So it's really going to help out if we can recycle those old cell phones. If you all would like to help out even more, you can donate to the Disney Conservation Fund at any merchandise location here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disney will match those donations per dollar. Well, friends, I hope you all had fun. I hope you learned something new, and I hope that you'll join us again sometime. No 2 safaris are ever the same. The animals will make sure of that. Here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye. It's far too sad and far too final. Instead, we like to say a Swahili phrase, which is kwaherini, and that means to go well. So I hope you all go well, go wild, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, or wherever your adventures may take you next. For my friends on that right-hand side, please make sure watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. The doors are going to open back up. And once again, Quarry, friends, go well, go wild, go make a difference out there. Thank you all so much for joining